The life I have chosen, the life of the night owl. No, it's the life of the... No, I don't know what life I've chosen. It's sort of been chosen for me. Very zen, isn't it? Let me just get the... There we go, the retouch has been put on. It's done bugger all. Oh, no, it's done alright. These are nice opals. But there's not a lot of water here. What I was going to show you is this. What can you do with a bicycle pump? Not a bicycle pump either, a bicycle tube, which is this thing here. Bicycle tube, a length of whatever plastic tube you can find, a jelly fruit cup, a piece of hose, and maybe a bottle. Let me show you. This is what I've got here. Let's play the play school game of make a thing. Oh, welcome to children. I have children, and this is what they consider a clean desk to be. That is pomegranate, right? That is the same fruit that in Greek mythology some woman spent 6 months in hell over. I bet it was cleaning. Anyway, what was I doing? I've completely lost my train of thought. Ah, yes, I was getting an implement I was getting. Nah, that'll do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to sit here with said bottle. Hopefully it will, there we go, good. You can see what I'm doing now, cool. Basically, I am widening out this. It's very play school, isn't it? Should we sing a song? We know a song about that. Widening the hole, widening the hole. When you get a girl nice, they're widening. Oh, no, we're not doing that one. Ooh, shut up. That was Max. He didn't expect me to say that. I don't normally. Ah, shut your face. I'll show you Max in a minute. Look, I'm putting a hole in a bottle. You're not as interesting as a hole in a bottle, all right? Maybe I'll show you Max, because Max is feeling really pissed. Hey, Max. Yeah, now he's got the attention, he doesn't care anymore. Watch. The moment the attention focuses away from him, all of a sudden the noise will go. Ah. Right, here we go. Making hole in bottle. Now, I know you're going, why am I making a hole in a bottle? I'm not making a hole in a bottle, I'm making a hole in a bottle cap. That's the important distinction. May as well take it off.
Now officially scaring Max.
Are you? Oh, no. My daughter's come in with a towel on. It's not a towel, it's a blanket. It's getting cold in Australia. Oh, hang on, you're in camera.
I'm very cold.
Are you cold? Yeah. Okay. For those people who are American / Canadian / Russian / Ukrainian, you're not going to understand what we consider cold to be. Like, you're going to say, hang on, lava's hotter than that, or cooler than that. Oh, well, it's late at night. Just give me a break. So what am I doing is the question, isn't it? Making sure that this hole is big enough. And why would you even want to do that? Let me show you. You know what? I'm wondering whether I could have this.
Max is being all too mean to me. He's
Max?
reaching the usual level of hissiness.
Oh, did you hear him before? He was going right off.
Hold on, I'm gonna bark. I'm trying to make him bark.
I told him to shut up. He was shocked.
Max, shut up. Shut up.
In case you're interested, any bird owner who's worth their salt would be absolutely mortified if their bird started saying shut up, because that tells other people that you're telling your bird to shut up way too much.
Max, shut up.
Yeah. Right, so there we go. Now, I know what you're saying. That kind of defeats the purpose to a lid. I get it. But I'll put the opals down here. Just remind me that I've got the opals there, won't you? I'm sure you will.
Guys, I got what I wanted.
You got what you wanted? Ice cream? Right, whatever.
Okay, I don't have to like it.
Whilst we've got a messy bench, this is a kitchen bench. Okay, tube from bicycle. People are going, what the? So this design element is about, I don't know, half an hour old, I reckon. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making sure that this bicycle tube makes it into the space. And now it's made it into the space, I don't care. That's probably good enough. If it's not, I can deal with that. Right, so the next thing to do is to get this stuff here. I don't even know what it is. I found it on the side of the road and it's worked wonders on various things. What do they call it? It's beige. See? Beige. So I've got myself a nice tube of beige. I know there is somebody there who's now throwing popcorn at their computer screen / phone. Going, yeah, it's not beige. It's not beige. It's the flexi poopy doobie. Yes, I know. But basically, as opposed to all other YouTubers around here, I exist probably on infuriating my audience rather than anything else. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Flexi tubey beige stuff. It's going all on here. That's worked really well. I'm glad I did that. This is just like me doping opals. Right, here we go. Now because I've done that, I now have to make my hands absolutely disgusting, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later. Come on, in you get. So long as that is not interfering with the flow of fluids. There we go. That's good. That's good. Now I'm getting, oh, that's much better. I don't know how I managed that, but that's good. All right, next thing to do. Oh, my hands are disgusting. I do have a little trick though. I've discovered there is no substance that soda bicarb can't solve. Maybe death. All right, hang on. Nearly done here with the bicarb. What it does is it dries it out and then it helps it to just flake off because it's... Okay, there's this thing called an octanol partition coefficient. Basically what that means is if you've got a good octanol partition coefficient, that means that stuff dissolves in fat and it doesn't dissolve in water. Bicarb, it dissolves in water. It also dissolves fat, so I don't even know why I use that metric because it's a bad one. For things like denaples, if you know what they are, dense non-aqueous phase liquids, basically fats, or benzenes, plastics, all that. This would be it might be an apple. It's an aqueous phase at any rate. Who knows? Right, there we go. Now inside, just to make sure. I don't think I need to worry too much about the inside because I'm more concerned about the... Alright, so this is what I've done here. Yeah, touched it again. So that goes on there like that, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to let that dry. Now, why would I do that? So basically, there is another aspect to this. Let me go to here. Now, sorry about the Sorry about the phone because I can't touch it. This is a very special piece of equipment that I've only just made. This is why the stream's late, actually. Here we go. Stay. Steady. Stable. Oh, that's good. Okay. So all I need to do now, this was done an hour or two ago. All I need to do now is just to attach that to that. Quite frankly, my hands are way too sticky. I might just open it up a bit. That work? Maybe a bit more. Yeah. Now, birds, can I give you a piece of advice? No eating the funnel. Thank you. Ugh. So just pop this in here, like so. Over the top. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. It's so greasy and slippery now. Practically impossible. I'll get some pliers and fix it up. All I need is this over. Come on. You can do it. Waiting. Looks a bit suggestive, but I didn't mean it to do something weird. So much for me getting all that stuff off my hands because I just put it all on my hands again. Oh, here we go. So, and I just got it on there. So let's just pop this over like so. Open it up a bit more, thank you. Maybe I should have put the valve inside. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you want them apples? Yeah, them 10 apples. Okay, here we go. On you get, on you get, on you get. Maybe I should have flipped it around so that I could do it that way. That makes it easier for me to do it. I think that will work because all I need to do now is put the yucky gunk on there, such as this stuff. Make sure that it's sufficiently held there. Is that? Yeah, get some more of it. Seeing I've got it all in my hands anyway, I may as well just keep going. You know, let's say, as long as the noose is around my neck, I may as well jump off the horse. So, just try and get some more of this stuff. There we go. Has anyone figured out what I'm doing with it yet? There we go. That'll be a nice seal. So the build here has been a couple of floorboards, a piece of treated pine, a random tube that I found on the side of the road, a bicycle tyre tube, and a lot of mess. What can I do here? I'll have to make some kind of funnel. I've got a funnel. I can get one. Hang on. Right, sorry about that, guys. So, these funnels here. Right, look at my hands, disgusting. So these funnels, I found them, well, guess where? That's right, on the side of the road. Ugh. I suddenly realised they are perfect for this application. So what I'm doing is I'm just lining this funnel with the yuckies, and then I shall place it on here, and then I shall do this. Maybe I will do it with this. Right. So long as I can get a good flow of material through here, it does not matter. And if this build doesn't work, I can just, because it's not really that permanent, I can just rip it off and then put another piece on. And if I was going to do this, you know, properly, because I'm just improvising as I go, if I was going to do this properly now, what I'd do is I would put the funnel on, let it dry, then put this thing over the top, let it dry, you know, give everything a chance, basically. But it doesn't matter, we've got, so long as we can make it work. And I have a feeling that all we need to do is just kind of do that. If not, what I might do is I might have to give the funnel a chance to dry on there. Is it going to work? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that. Leave that there. It doesn't matter that it's all covered in muck, because if worse comes to worse, I'll just redo it. I've got plenty of funnels. So what I'm going to do now, just going to absolutely coat this with crap. I don't know if people from around the world know what a pavlova is. Basically, you get egg white. Oh, yeah, fair enough. No one knows what a pavlova is because egg white. I forgot that eggs are like $1 million a kilo at the moment. Apparently, you can get really good mileage on YouTube if you do highly political stuff. So, boo Trump. Is that good enough? Do you reckon I'll get the views now? What I would say is that, listen, politics matters. And so, every time you hear a Canadian booing a national anthem, that's amazing, by the way. Have you ever considered what would motivate a Canadian to boo a national anthem? Something pretty, like you could kill their mother and it wouldn't matter. So whatever has been done to Canada to make them boo the American national anthem, you know it's severe. Anyway. There we go. I don't know what you're seeing. Probably a lot of mess. That's what I'm feeling. It's disgusting. Give me a second to just clean that all up. So what I'm doing is I'm getting baking soda and then I'm rubbing it onto the stuff. That baking soda does a couple of things. It actually takes up the stickiness of it, the start, so that even if it doesn't work as a cleaning agent, it helps to bind it and stops you from feeling so bad. Now the other thing is that because this is a plastic-based substance, wiping yourself down with a towel is just it's useless. So you're better off getting plastic and wiping yourself down with that. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it works. Just got to get another coat of baking soda on here. Now I didn't expect it to be quite so messy. I thought, you know, in my human mind, lizard monkey brain, I was sitting there going, yep, this won't take any time whatsoever. It'll just be a quick get in there, I fix the tube to a thing, and then we're done. Never in my wildest dreams did I think, nah, you know, this is going to take hours of doing really weird things. But guess what? Hours of doing really weird things is the option which I've had to choose. Just toweling myself dry. My hands feel disgusting. You know, I've seen a lot of YouTube builds. You know, there's those super sped up, make a fatal strawberry combination videos. Have you ever seen those? Like, this is a great hack. Put acid in your strawberries. Here we go. Whoop. Now, do you want to know what the purpose of all that was, or do you want the mystery just to drive you insane? I should probably tell you. So, basically the whole idea is, this is a filtration column. So, you can filter things several ways. One way you can filter things is with a particle filter, like a piece of tissue paper. Another way you can do it is by centrifuging. Another way you can do it is essentially the patient version of centrifuging. Yeah. Hello. You won't like me scratching you at the moment. My hands are covered in crap. Yep, that's right, crap. Hey, Loki. Did I catch you plucking? Oh, I think we have. We caught her with her feathers down, so to speak. All right, so let me see. What was I saying? So basically, this is you can filter things a variety of ways. You can filter them using a centrifuge. You've heard of that. But what you can also do is you can use another form of centrifuge, which is the earth. You can use gravity. And so you can just let gravity pull the particles down, and then at a given time, you can just fill the bottle. But what I'm doing here is it's a little bit better. If you fill the bottle with water first, and then put the particles in, the particles will just drop into the bottle. That's the whole idea of that. Let's do the opals. It's been a lot of work because I've been building this thing. This is, of course, my opal machine. This is another opal machine. I've also worked out an armrest for it, but yeah. There we go. G'day. Can I let you into a little secret, Opal guy? And I'm deadly serious about this, and you're not going to believe it. Have you heard of something called the crisis in cosmology? That doesn't look particularly in focus, does it? There we go. Right. Put that over there like so. Right. Turn this on. That sounds totally healthy. Don't know what the stuff on my hands will do, but that is of a minor concern. It is of no concern. Soon Skywalker will be crushed, and the rebellion will be one of us. I'm pretty certain I got that right. Okay, moving these into this little container here. Little container, you will hold all of the things, no? Excellent. So, I've got some opals which I'm pretty certain are going to do the trick. But you can never be guaranteed of any success, especially with the kind of rough that I use. First things first, let's have a look at this little piece. We'll get to see how my hands feel so icky. Yeah. Let's just get this all in order. There we go. Right. This might do it. Let's give it a go. Now I'm deliberately letting the blade hack into my hand because it's actually taking off the stuff. Possibly also a layer of skin, but we're not talking about that. Zooming back because weirdly this is a better angle. I don't know why. 3 likes already. Nobody allegedly watching, but 3 likes. Good. Well, yes, it is insanely late here. I'm presuming that I'm only going to getting Americans or insomniacs. There we go. Let's have a look. This might even work. What an achievement. Not bad for just a random. These aren't quite random. I've spent a little bit of time picking them out. A bit too much time in my opinion. I don't like to get too political on this channel, but I am aware of one or two people who like it. So I'll just say this, and if you disagree with me, feel free to disagree. In Australia, politics is not a deal changer or a deal breaker or a deal anything really. Yeah, have a look at that. That's going to be interesting. It's not going to be 100% Opal, but I don't mind. Not a bad starter. So at any rate, what was I saying? Yes. In Australia, politics is not the divisive thing that it is in the United States, but I mean, it can be a little bit divisive. But you're not going to have people going, I'm never going to be your friend anymore because you like the other guy. I'm not going to say we're mature enough. I don't think that the politics has gotten so bitter. But don't get me wrong, there are people who are pretty fervent on both sides of the political fence. At the moment, we've got this amazing contest. You've got this person who is not particularly well known, who's currently our PM. It's not like the United States where people are going, oh yeah, Trump or Biden or Kamala Harris or, you know, Joe Rutherford or Bill Smiley Face. I don't know. Anyway, it's not like that. In Australia, you'd be hard pressed to get most people to know the name of our Prime Minister. Isn't that the ScoMo guy? Nah, he's not even the same party, mate. He was ages ago. Oh, was that when he brought the coal into Parliament? No. We're well beyond coal in Parliament, guy. ScoMo's gone, mate. Well, where did he go? I thought he was the PM. Oh no, we voted him out. Oh, did we? Did I do that? Oh, you might have. Did you vote? Well, yeah, we have to. Oh, okay, well, did you write ScoMo on the ballot? No, I couldn't remember his name. Oh, okay. So, who did you write? I don't know. I think I did scientists for bicycles growing a tree in the back garden of Canberra party. Do you know what they do? No. It's just a nice acronym. Oh, that's good. Do you know if they were Labor or Liberal? No, I don't. No idea, mate. Do you know who the person who was at the head of that party was? No, I think his name was Johnny Bicyclehead. Well, this is not getting us anywhere. So ScoMo's still in? No, he's not. He was voted out last election. What, you mean the election where I voted the bicycle? Yes, the bicycle guy, that's right, yes. Oh. So why didn't ScoMo get him? Because you didn't vote for him. So that's Australian politics. We vote compulsory. We vote randomly. We sometimes know the name of our Prime Minister. And if you give me a minute or two, Dutton, that's the guy who's the opposition leader. The guy with the lisp, that's him. That's all I remember, guy with lisp. He's not Peter Dutton because, like, we have a really weird thing that's happened in Australian politics in which pretty much everybody from every political party has looked around and said, you know what, I reckon that Peter Dutton guy is a bit of a potato. I'm not sure Peter Dutton is ever going to get away from being a potato. I don't know where it came from. It seems to fit him like a hat. So Liberal, Labor, whatever. Conservative, Radical, left, right, doesn't matter. Potato. Still don't have the name of that politician who's... I genuinely can't remember the name of our PM. That's like, if you translate that into American, that's president. Like his face is in my face. Like I can remember what he looks like. I can remember his voice. Like I said, he's got a bit of a lisp. If you follow Aussie Man did an interview with him. His name's not Dutton. I mean, that's all of the things. You see, this is the funny thing. If you do political advertising in that kind of environment, if you actually mention the name of your political opponent, the Australian people go, oh, that's his name. Yeah, I'll vote for him. tell you what, if whoever loses this election, because it's happening in a few weeks, whoever loses this election, I would like to see them try to start a riot. I'd like to see them try to start a revolution. Australia just... Are there sausages? What do you mean? Well, at Bunnings we get sausages. When we did the election we got sausages. If we're going to have a riot, we want sausages. Now I've got an interesting conundrum here. Have a look at this. There's nice colour in here. Is that on or not? Retouch off, retouch on. Sounds very wax on, wax off. Anyway. I'm just going to give it a little bit more oomphy woomphy because I have a feeling that if I just do a bit more, the cracks will go and the colour will come. It's looking quite colourful here. It's got a few cracks as well. See if I can just get them out of this. They all the way through. They're pretty deep. Carve along here. I think that solves about 80% of the problem. Just so that you people from other countries understand, you are aware that Australia administers the territory in which our penguins have been charged a 10% tariff. Don't piss off the penguins. That's all I can say. That's my advice to you. You can piss off the Russians, they might launch a nuke, but don't piss off the penguins. Their response will be swift and just. So if I was you, I would be untariffing the penguins. And Norfolk Island, man, do you know what Norfolk Island will do if you tariff them? That's another tiny little tin pot island that Australia administers. If you tariff Norfolk Island, man, we're not going to send Norfolk Island pines to America. And these are trees that are bloody useless for anything. That's what you're about to miss out on. Sucks to be you. Right, let's see if we can spot this. Let's see if we can get this to... Right, we've got something there. You can see the cracks, which is a worry. You can also see the shine. If the cracks stay, they'll be stable. I'll try and stabilise them somehow. This isn't like a Wello opal, an Ethiopian opal. These are Australian opals. And the cracks happen because if you just leave them out in the sun, basically. I got that hot tip from from Goober Petey. He lives out there. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little piece of shine. Let's see if I can get this shine to happen. There we go. See it just there? Zoom right in. See if we can get that shine happening. There it is. Lovely. What a lovely shine that is. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and accentuate the shine, I will. Now the trouble with trying to accentuate the shine, the trouble with accentuating shine is that you might actually end up accentuating it so much that it'll go completely. That is a process more commonly known as de-accentuation. In Australian parlance, it's referred to as buggering it up. a bit nervous of that manoeuvre, so I will very gently about face. Anyway, someone went onto the interweb and asked my group if there was anyone out there who understood the deep economics that helped to make the decision for tariffs. And me being the economist that I am, I responded very positively. 262. You should have polished 109, because the Messerschmitt 109 was much better than the Messerschmitt 262. Sorry to say. You go polish your 109 and you polish it well, my friend. We should do it on a live stream, actually, with me. Because I can click the live stream together button and then figure out that I don't know how to do live streams together. That will be amusing. Well, this is getting better. This particular Opal is improving. Oh. I can imagine that. What costs more, eggs or Opal Rough? Email me. Do you know what my email address is? Okay, I just noticed a little problem. It's not a big issue. I just need to fix it. Here we go. Grab this. Yoink. Pop this in here for safekeeping. Yeah. It's here somewhere. Trouble is I can never figure out, where is it? That's not under here, has it? Torque is a thing apparently. Oh, far out. This is a very simple conundrum. Find the little hole. I mean, this is I'm a dude. Dudes are just, they're supposed to be great at finding holes and putting things into them. Here we go. There we go. Found it. Finally. I can't imagine a situation where a male can't find something near a hole. Okay, so let me see. There we go. Opal Guy, phug7649@gmail.com. You got that? phug7649@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll sort something out. It helps if you remove this. Right. Now that's sorted. Where do I put my Opal? Which one was it? Can't remember. Not that one. There it is. Found it. Yeah, it was this one. Glad I found it. It's quite a good one. Don't like doing this because it gets rid of the backing for the Opal. It's not what you want. Sometimes this happens, you have to just deal with it. What I can do, however, is I can just leave it like that. Ordinarily I'm a little bit fastidious with the back of the Opal, but this time I can't afford to be, because if I take off the sand back, it will just completely remove the Opal basically. So I'm just going to have to deal with the cards as I have been given them. How very zen of me. Ding. We will now say again. Why are we saying that? Because we can't remember the words. Well, what do you know? We've got 4 likey poos. Thank you very much, whoever did that. I presume Opal Guy was one of them. In case you're interested, Opal Guy has got a special place in my pantheon of heroes because he has supported me from the very, very beginning. Now he's understanding the pressures of getting a channel that's working. I wish him the best of luck. Nellie the elephant packed the trunk and said goodbye to the circus. So she went to the United States. Trump, Trump, Trump. Didn't like doing that, had to do it. There we go. Nice little Opal. Not great, but not terrible. All right, let's have another go. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting a piece of opal that was in my hand onto a milk bottle. Have you seen this opal? Call 1-800-MISSING OPAL. Where was it? It went flying. I have no idea where it's gone. I think only just. This fragment passes muster only just. Well, hello there, my insomniac friend. What are you doing up? You should be asleep. It's Australia. Something like that, yeah. I think I started this stream at 1:30. We're 54 minutes, so it'll be about nearly 2:30, I reckon. Well, at least she's not a penguin having to pay tariffs. Look at that. I very nearly missed this one, but I'll give you the full rundown. Whilst you're here, Opal Guy, my email address, phug7649@gmail.com. Come on, show it. There it is. Try to get a bit more water onto that so you can see it. There it is. See that? That's what we're going for. But Opal rough is, I can give you some. Just give me an address, I'll send it through in, 5 to 6 working decades. Uh-oh. Is everything okay? Yep, I agree with the Opal guys' assessment. COVID schmovid. And I understand the manager's position, but the thing about it is, if you create an environment where people want to show up to work, then they get less sick. They literally get less sick. It's not just emotional sickness, it's physical sickness. They're healthier if they're happy. That is a beautiful opal. I'm sure you can't see it, but it's great. That would be a magnum opal. This one here, if I remember correctly, has got something good in it. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. I'm hoping that I can get something special out of it. Oh, I know. Look, I understand it. If I was in your position, the last thing I'd want to do is be sick. Now, Opal guy, are you aware of something called the crisis in cosmology? A quick update on that thing. There's this thing called the cosmic ladder. There's another thing called a cephalid variable. That's a star. They use that star as a calibration for the cosmic ladder. If they see that kind of star in a galaxy a million billion miles away, they say it's yay bright. The only trouble is their models don't line up. So they call that the cosmological crisis. And in order to solve it, they've made up all sorts of dark matter and dark energy and dark this and dark that. Don't know what to make of that, because I know that there's a GP is just a gatekeeper for people. I think Jerry Seinfeld said it best one time. He said GP's job is to say, oh, that looks like an arm, you need to go to arm guy. That wasn't that great in the end, so I didn't bother showing you. Alright, this has got a nice little piece of colour right in the middle, so hopefully this will work out. First things first though, I'll cut this piece off. Where's it? Ooh, that's nicer than I thought. What am I going to do to solve and you know that thing you didn't pay me for? I'm not showing up. That sounds perfectly fair to me. You know, maybe I'd be changing my opening lines if I were you, Adele. Just a thought. I wouldn't be going, I'm sick. I'd be going, I'm not paid. Here in the public service, we make that our number one priority. Did you know that I sent a letter to Elon Musk saying, giving him like 4 things that I did during the week in my role in the public service? Because I thought, you know, he should know what everyone's doing, not just America, but everyone. Listen, Adele, I can get you a medical certificate for a very rare condition called not being paid-itis. It almost invariably comes out as a result of financial stress. It's terrible. This affliction. There was an epidemic that went amongst Domino's workers a little while ago. Did you get a medical certificate as to why you were not paid, by any chance? Like, did they give you 24 hours notice? Can I take the time to be a proud father at the moment and say that my daughter is Employee of the Month? Listen, it's very hard to get a doctor that understands the intricacies of not being paid enough itis. For a start, my father's a surgeon. I know how much the bastards are paid. Nepotism is the process of employing friends and relatives over skill. First instigated in Egypt by Queen Nefertiti. No, my daughter was Employee of the Month. Literally was. It's so funny because she's cracked the code of, winning over customers, and so they keep bringing in those staff surveys. Like every day she gets like 2 or 3 of them filled in. Don't be stupid, no pay rises for that. She could possibly become the world's, not the world's best, the store's youngest crew trainer though. And if she does, it's well earned. Oh, look. Just let me be a proud father and say, yeah, love the little thing. But she's worked really hard, and so, I'm like, yeah, you deserve that. Just so you know, my philosophy isn't necessarily you should be paid for work. I genuinely believe that you should be given a wage no matter what. No, it's okay, I understand. You know me. I judge people how I'd like to be judged myself, because I often say the worst things. I come across as really weird sometimes, so yeah, don't worry about it. It's not that we all deserve a living wage. I think we do. But I think economically it makes sense. That's all. And I think that there are jobs, how do I put this politely? There are jobs out there that actually cost society, and a lot of the time they're paid a lot more than jobs that add value to society. So just from that small observation, I can say well, there's clearly a lot of fat in the budget here. We can pay everyone. And I'll bet you it'll be good for the economy, because people will not be worried, can I keep my job or not? If your boss is a jerk, you go, well, screw you then, see ya. And you go, well, I haven't had a job for 6 months. Nah, I'll just go play guitar. You see, the problem is that the living wage has to extend to everyone. I mean everyone, all over the world. So we'd have to have a scheme which actually made that happen, because you can't just have people blood Australia whilst everyone's starving to death in India. Let's try zooming right in. You can see it a little bit. It is quite a light opal as it is. It's not a bad one. I quite like it. Alright, let's see what else we've got here. Let's see what we got. That's a Riley gun special there. Whoop, zooming back. Oh look, if I was in the States, I would tip, because, okay, here's the deal. Tipping is wrong. It's morally wrong. Basically, it's putting the onus onto the consumer to give your employee a real wage. And that means that the owner of the business doesn't have the responsibility of looking after their own employees. Why the hell do I have to look after somebody else's own employees? It's ridiculous. It's a lack of care. It's criminally negligent, in my opinion. Did bright green show up? Hang on. Let's have a look. It might be because of this. These Opals can do that. Oh, okay. No worries. Well, if you do decide to show it, don't turn up the colour filter. That's my advice. $2. I don't even know what to say about that. My daughter's currently getting paid something in the order of $14 an hour for a first job. That would translate roughly to $10 an hour in the United States. Well, $8 is still better than $2.50. Let me adjust it. $4.50 for you. That'd be $4.50 US. Okay, so Opal guy, this is the deal. We're not sitting here saying, look at how good our wages are, and like lording it over the United States. That's just not fair. That's ridiculously unfair. But if you have wages that are that punishingly bad, no wonder you've got bogans rising up and voting for Trump. If you've got desperate bogans out there, they're going to vote for anyone who'll be different to what they're currently doing. Now, just because Trump didn't fix it doesn't mean... Oh, I know. I'm not saying this makes sense, dude. The whole reason why Trump was voted in the first place was because he promised to jumble up the crayons. He said, I'm not a politician. All the politicians are screwing you over, blah, blah, blah. Let me show you how to screw you over properly. Look, he told what we in the trade refer to as a pack of lies. I get it. But I'm just saying, if you're a low wage earner, don't have access to education, don't have anything like that, you'd listen to that. It's deliberate too. Been doing a bit of a deep dive into basic things like computers. Operating systems in computers are unnecessarily complex and people don't understand them. That's just to sell the next computer, but it's also to keep you wedded to their infrastructure. That's the most powerful thing you can say, Opal guy. Yeah. It's true. Douglas Adams, the person who coined 42 as the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, he also wrote about democracy. He was very sharp on that. Brilliant writer. He was well ahead of his time. But he wrote about the planet of the lizards, in which the lizards were always the rulers, and everyone voted for lizards on their planet, no matter what species they were. And people said, why do you stop voting for lizards? And they said, well, the wrong lizard might get in. Pretty certain that anecdote has passed my lips before on this channel, but it's worth saying again. In my worldview, I'm not particularly well disposed to or antagonistic to any major political party. If I feel I can trust the leader, then okay, you get my vote. As a general rule, I have spent my time being let down by leaders. No matter what side of the political fence, let down. That's basically how it works. And you see, that means that Australia is ripe for a Trump-in, isn't it? Because if that keeps happening, someone comes along and says, look, I'm going to give you different politics to what you've been getting. Well, that's the way in, isn't it? Oh, look, it doesn't matter whether you're Liberal or Labor at this point in time. At the moment, I was saying this before, I can't remember our Prime Minister's name. Albanese, there you go, Albanese, got him. Finally. But you've got to feel sorry for the Liberals in Australia at the moment. They've got Dutton. How could you possibly vote for that potato? Oh, look, I think that we've got to stop labelling people communists, fascists, all that kind of stuff, and realise that we are the victims of a bigger system. That's that Opal didn't do particularly well. Oh, yeah. Just so you know, Conservative is the opposite way around in Australia. Well, it's illegal. It's illegal to not be straight in America, isn't it? Or a penguin. You're not getting our beautiful Norfolk Island pine trees either. 40% tariffs on those bastards. Oh, don't worry, it's a common autocorrect, wood and world. There's this thing called the Fermi paradox, and basically it's saying if like the Earth has this much chance of producing life, that should hold true for the rest of the universe. And if it's that likely, where is everybody? And all you have to do is look at the politics. Aliens come along, look at the politics, they go fuck that, they go away. Donald Trump, he tries to pork all the women, doesn't he? Now he's got a tariff on it. Good luck with that. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jade. They're just misinformed. It's not that they're angry and they're cold and they're hungry and they're starving. That's their problem. And they've been told a lie that the world will be better if they do X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'm going to call this the Trump Opal. Looked really good, promised a lot, delivered nothing. Now, and you can have it for a 40% tariff. Try this bad boy out. My goodness, there's a lot of commentary here. What's going on? Oh, sorry, just going back here. Oh, fair enough. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. when it all goes to shit, let's just blame the black people or something. Yeah, you're right. Or what is it? It's the immigrants at the moment, isn't it? It's the Mexicans or whatnot. And here's the thing. As a card-carrying white person, I'm well aware that we are capable of buggering up economies the world over. We don't need other races to do that for us. We can do it ourselves. Tell you what, we'll have a chat with the bushies. I also want to get back into contact with Khaled. It's been a while. I've had, like, my children have had massive doctor's bills and various other things. Look, I'm not complaining. I'm very, very well off. Don't get me wrong. But the bills have been stacking up recently, and so, you know, momentary poverty is what I call it. Well, that's not a bad little Opal. We'll call that one Kamala Harris. This one's Peter Dutton, by the way. Pretty much rough around the edges, don't know what to do with it. Yeah. And look, the thought that occurred to me about all of that is, how do I put this? Okay. The Sparky charges you an arm and a leg when he comes over, not because he's being mean, but because the painter's charged him an arm and a leg when the painter came over, and he needs to pay the painter. And this giant spiral of interdependence happens, all keeping us all on the knife edge of poverty, no matter how much we actually do earn. Afterpay is a good idea for essentials. You've got to be careful. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to make a YouTube video at some stage on how to build yourself a cheap-ass workstation. Look, I'll try and build it for as low a price as possible. Let's see what we can do with that. Because, once again, cutting opals, it doesn't need to be the domain of the outrageously wealthy. Yeah. I was quite surprised by Opal Guy's setup, because I don't watch much YouTube despite the fact that I'm on it. And when I did see it a few months ago, I'm like, it's not a bad setup. I mean, I saw a nod to me, like, because I saw this thing here, but it wasn't my setup. It was designed for him. I quite liked it. It looked quite tidy to me. It's just like, I invent lots of stuff, Opal guy. But you see, my setup is chaotic. There's great innovation, there's awesome stuff around, but it's chaos. Yours is not like that. Oh, hang on. Here's a nice little... This, Opal, is called the politician that nobody ever gets because it's transparent. Okay, now. It should be able to survive, dude. And if you're good with electronics, you can replace the brushes on them. And brushes are dirt cheap on eBay. Don't ask me how to replace the brushes. As far as I know, the only brush you have is, you know, what you clean up all the bird shit with. But theoretically it's possible. Alright, for the people who don't know, a brush is, it attaches to the electric parts of the motor so that when the current goes into the coil and the coil turns around, it doesn't go backwards at the end of the turn. Good morning.
I said warning, not good morning.
Warning, oh.
Just because I didn't want to surprise you while you were...
Oh, shit. My daughter's here. Not the McDonald's one, the other one. I'm proud of both of them, though.
That's like such an underhanded... I love you, Dad.
Look.
Despite my sleep medication, I could not stay asleep, so I'm up now.
Well, enjoy it. Have a look at this. This person here, Adele, she's from Australia, and she's saying hello.
Yeah.
And Jay's for Genius is here too.
Yeah.
She's from Australia. No one can fucking sleep, basically. Oops, I said a word.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but I'm angry about it, so...
I think everyone's angry about it.
Yeah.
Adele, she's currently sick, so every time she falls asleep, she starts choking.
Oh, no, I get that one.
Her phlegm is green.
At least it's productive one.
Yeah.
By the way, I can hear you doing a stream from upstairs. And I think I dreamt about your stream because, like, the last thing I remember was, like, your live stream from when I was, like, asleep.
Ah, there we go. Hang on, there's Jake.
Do you ever look on Bumper Utils? My father looks on anywhere he can freaking get his hands on.
Yeah.
Anyway, love you, Dad.
Love you too, see you around. I made a separating column out of a fruit jelly cup, a random tube I found on the side of the road, another random tube of goopy stuff that I found on the side of the road. I'll show it to you when I go in. And what else? A juice bottle, basically. What I've realised is that when it comes to me making things, I'm sitting there and I'm going, if it kills me, this thing will be made. I've got the vision and it doesn't matter what I use to make it. Yeah, I got me a second-hand Dremel for $30, and the reason I got that was because, well, I don't want this one to kick the bucket, basically. Okay, this politician, Opal, what I'll do is I'll say that this is actually some of the Labor backbenchers from a few years ago. This is the faceless men. There's absolutely no face, no nothing. Right. That was a very proud chapter of our history, when the slogan for the first female Prime Minister in Australia was "Ditch the bitch." We're all class, we are. Did you know that other countries actually celebrate moments like that? Even Margaret Thatcher, they called her the Iron Lady. Most people hated her. She got the respect she was due. Admittedly, when she died, the Scottish Miners' Union said, I heard you got a... oh, claim me wee laddie. There we go, my Scottish accent's come back. Oh, hey, I heard you got a state funeral for her. You should have asked us. We would have dug the hole. We'd have dug it straight to hell. There's something beautiful happening here. Right, it's just this side. Okay. Okay, so this one I'm going to call it the Julia Gillard. And the reason why I'm calling it that is because I overlooked it, and in the end analysis, it's actually quite beautiful. Now, oh, don't you worry, we're going to ditch that bitch. Would you look at that? A nice little opal, this guy. Okay. Sorry, I can't do that many American politicians. Sorry about that. But this one can be Senator Bob Brown because it's green, flashy, small, and it's also red on the inside. Da, 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 da. Okay, moving on. There's a good one, wasn't it? If I was Bobby Brown, I wouldn't mind being called that one. I've got some Opal fragments for you, Adele, so I'll try and get to Queensland at some stage and dump them over in the Bribey Bridge somewhere. Would you believe that the soap I used to lubricate some of my Dremel equipment, it's actually homemade soap? My father made it, of all people. He went through a soap phase. Funny thing was that, like, everyone thought he was a bit crazy. And look, yeah, he is a bit crazy, but like, there's nothing wrong with crazy, basically. So anyway, run Christmas, my mother suddenly threw away all of his soaps. Right, I caught wind of this, and so I snuck most of his soaps into my garage, so nobody knew I'd actually stolen his soap. This is sounding like the most bizarre story ever. Anyway, come Christmas time, I had a plan. I got a very rustic looking piece of timber, a lot of rustic looking pieces of timber, and I got the Dremel out. Not this Dremel, but another one. Oop, there we go. There we go. So I got a Dremel out similar to this one, and I very carefully shaped all of the soaps that he made, and I put them into this rustic packaging and put, you know, ribbons and shit all around it. And then the pièce de résistance was the fact that I put a wax seal on it, and I wrote Sop du Mal, which is like, my father's name is Malcolm, so it was French soap now, and every single one of my relatives got Sop du Mal. My little statement there was, oh look, don't worry about viewers, my viewer count's down, it's just the time of year it is, and if you don't keep the intensity up, you're going to drop the viewers, it's that simple. That's why I'm up here at 2 AM doing this. How many have I got on there? 4 at the moment. 6 likes, which is actually quite good. I reckon if I get 1,000 people on this stream at the end of this, I'll be happy. Adele, don't you dare give up. Oh, my dad, yeah. He's a lot better, you know. I tell you what, I'll do another stream with him. I'll mention to him that my adoring audience wants to see him again. We might do some crazy build, though, because, like, if you've seen the crazy shit I put together, he does 10 times the crazy. So, I'm sure we could do something. At the moment, he's helping me make a, now, please don't laugh too hard. And don't think the worst of me, it's not that kind of thing. But at any rate, at the moment, he's extracting parts from circuit boards to help me make something that I'm dubbing the sausage slapper. It's not what you think it is. It's actually a very important piece of AI, would you believe? Because at the moment we've got chatbots and whatnot. That's great, but they're actually fenced in by code, and so we don't know if they're alive or not because the programmers are actually not letting them grow. That's another story. But basically what I want to do is I want to demonstrate that they can show a bit of agency. And I realised that if you connected basically a solar panel to a power amplifier and then an electric motor, you could literally let an AI use the text that it generates on the screen to generate enough light to activate the motor. And if you stick a sausage onto that, yes, a sausage, because it's a good human hand analog, if you do it right, you can actually get the sausage to hit the phone and activate the phone and repeat the cycle. My dad, okay. Yeah, my dad does do cooking from time to time. He helped with this. He helped with the potatoes last Sunday, from memory, and I can still taste the salt now. So, yeah, he's good at a lot of things, but unless you want a salty Anzac biscuit, maybe not. Okay, so this one, every politician in human history started off good, ended up pretty disappointing. Rightio. Okay, this one's looking good. It's kind of small, so I want someone to suggest the name of their favourite minor politician. This one's going to be flashy and small. So here it is. What have we got? Probably the local member for Buttfuck Nowhere. Transparent, beautiful. You probably need to see it under the right light. That's pretty much all good politicians. Trying to remember, who was that guy from ages ago in the Liberal Party who ended up doing a photo shoot in fishnet stockings? I'm trying to remember his name. This was about 1994 or thereabouts. You know what? I can't read that name. Chris is fully. Okay. Okay. My eyesight's going downhill. I'm going to have to get glasses. Do you know anyone who can do that, Adele? Didn't think you would. Tony Abbott. No, not Tony Abbott. Please, no, not Tony Abbott. He had black curly hair. Oh, I can't remember his name. It was delightfully stupid. It was a Liberal politician, but like, I can see that my audience here is going to go, yeah, Liberal stupid. Oh, his name's on the tip of my brain. Well, what do you know? Pauline Hanson a racist? Oh, I don't like it. I don't like anything. My shopping has been murdered. My groceries are murdered. My shopping trolley murdered. My groceries gone. And I left my heart in San Francisco. Okay, listen, excuse my French here, but she wore a fucking burqa. And she didn't do it to, like, identify with Muslim women either, did she? She did it to dehumanize them. Honestly. Sorry, that just takes the cake. If you're going to make a platform based on racism, then I think you should just be a little bit circumspect when someone calls you a racist. I can't believe I'm even saying this. Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. You know what? She could probably marry Trump. Maybe a match made in hell. But I mean, at least that's, you know, nobody else has to marry them. That's a nice little opal, that one. That's not a Pauline Hanson opal, I'm sorry. That's too good. I'm still really going with that one. I don't like being called a racist. I don't know what to say. I'm genuinely sorry that grieves her, okay? I can say that. But at the same time, it's kind of expected. I don't know. What do you say? Okay, listen, I'm going to defend Pauline Hanson if I can. Let's try. Okay, when she wore the burqa in Parliament, She wasn't being racist. She was being a bigot. How about that? Oh. Clive Palmer. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. A long time. If Opal Guy's still there, if his brain hasn't dribbled out his ears from this conversation, this one's not about Opal actually, so I don't know. It's quite flat, so maybe Kamala Harris again. Because like it looks quite pretty, looks quite functional. It seems to have gone under the bus. Well, he's actually in the American Ike, Opal Guy, because you know how you have all these billionaires who are trying to run the show. I don't know if Clive Palmer is a millionaire or a billionaire or a thousandaire, but he's certainly an heir. But basically, it's this: I've got $1 million billion. That means that I know what I'm talking about. No, it doesn't. You just happen to know what policies will affect you, because you can literally see the whirlpool of money when the policy changes. That's not intelligence. That's just cause and effect. Well, that's the point. I think that we have to doff our hats, or whatever you do, tip our hat to whoever has been making the American system work, because they've successfully distracted the American voter from what's actually happening until the takeover happened. So that was good work. I mean, it was evil, don't get me wrong, thoroughly evil, but it was good work. I understand what you're saying. Also, at the same time, I'm pretty certain there's a lot of bald people on YouTube who are quite shocked at what politics is doing. I think to be shocked at the state of politics at the moment is to be called what they define in the dictionary as a decent human being. If you don't instantly look at another human being and go, how can I extract as much money as possible from this person? if you're not instantly going, what is in it for me, when you see a starving person on one of those World Vision ads? Where's my payout? A minor politician. Well, Clive Palmer is a minor politician. Da, 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 da. If you're referring to Peter Dutton, please don't. I don't think you are. Here's the deal. If he's who you say he is, right? The YouTube ads are geocoded, so what ads I see are not the ads that you're going to see. So it could well be that I'll never see the bald guy, right? So but if it's anything from what I've seen in politics, there are two types of politician. There is the passionate, I will do whatever it takes, no matter what the cost, to try and get some change happening politician. There's plenty of them around. They just don't go anywhere. Because there's a second type of politician, the parachuted into a safe seat so that they can go and buddy up with their business partners and continue to screw their country. There are way more of them than there are of the passionate outliers. Which leads me to my political theory 101. This will be the last opal, by the way. Yeah, you're right. But here's my take on it. I have a fairly good idea of who you guys are going to vote for. I haven't actually made my mind up yet. What I'm doing is I'm collecting all the junk mail in my area, and the highest pile of junk mail from a politician is the lowest in my ballot. So that instantly gets me a lot of independence. But if I was to design a system, what I would say is everybody in Australia, seeing they have to vote, shows up to the ballot, thinks carefully about who they're going to vote for, then votes for the opposite guy. So that means that you guys, if you're really dyed-in-the-wool Labor supporters, then yeah, vote Liberal. That sounds terrible, I know. But there is method in the madness. There's method in this madness, so just hear me out. Basically, we're not really voting against a party. We're voting against all the parties. And the parties, they sew up the game to make sure that their local people win. They parachute people in. They make sure that local issues aren't really listened to. The interests of big business happen no matter which party you're supporting. So the way to get around that is to make sure the little guy gets in. That little bald man, for example, who's not going to get in if he's actually passionate. Because that is the Labor member who goes and sits in a Liberal seat, even though he knows that it's a lost cause. Because he's that passionate, he says, I'm going to give it a go anyway. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Those are the kind of politicians we want. Same for the Liberal members, believe it or not. And I reckon once you get rid of all of the parachuted bastards, you're going to have a much better flow of politics. I can give you some advice no matter what party you vote for. I know full well that my system, the thing that I just advised, is not going to happen because there's not going to be, no one's going to do that, right? But that's how I would do it. If I could control the voting, I'd say, right, vote opposite. But there is, yeah. My thoughts on the whole thing are, even if you like your Labor Party, you've got to make sure that they are last on the Senate ballot. Well, second last to Liberal. And the system is set so that all of the votes flow up to either the Labor or the Liberal Party by some way, shape or form. So you've got to be efficient with your voting. You've got to make sure that the independents have a chance. And what I'll do is I'll contact my brother and I will actually make a video on how to make those independents more prominent in your ballot. So I think it's important. Do you reckon this one will end up an Opal that we have to call Donald Trump, as in looks big and impressive but ultimately not really, and we're going to have to end up painting it orange? Yes, you're right. Absolutely, Adele. That's why you've got to be careful about it. That's why, I was going to shoot my mouth off about it, and I'm going, no, I've got to get my facts straight before I say this. Because, each area is going to be different, and each party is going to be using all sorts of tricks. You'll see an independent member, you're going to see the Reformed Labor Party, which is actually a Liberal front, and you're going to see the Liberal National Correct People or something like that, and that's actually a Labor front. Just so you know, Opal Guy, the date has been set for our election. I can't remember when it is. It'll be a Saturday. The date has been set. And when it comes to the last week, I think it is, there is actually a political advertising blackout. No one is allowed to do political advertising. That is what you're saying is very true, Opal Guy. Just to amplify it, as far as I know, there's usually some crank, weird guy who jumps up and puts his name for president on the ticket. As far as I know, there's nothing stopping everyone in America voting that guy in. My brother turned on the YouTube and saw a protest in Utah going on, and he says, you know it's bad when they're protesting in Utah. I have the same opinion as you, Opal Guy, except I approach it from exactly the opposite way. I think you should pay the politicians absolutely great, massive gobs of money. And the reason is purely practical. You need them to be completely uncorruptible. Now, I'm possibly being idealistic about it. But either way, I agree with you. Money shouldn't be the factor. Look, dude, you need to take that constitution down off the wall wherever you have it and do just a few little tweaks to it. You can't have your president appointing your judges. That's just silly. Doesn't it say somewhere that the judicial branch needs to be separate from the government? Oh, look. If I was leader of the free world, not just America, free world, I would actually make it that elections were still held, but they'd be a bit different. For example, politicians and prime ministers and presidents, the way they get in would be a similar thing to jury duty. You basically pick someone at random and say, it's your turn. Good luck with it. And my logic is, the United States, can you imagine if, like, literally anyone in the United States was put in charge instead of Trump? How do you reckon things would turn out? Oh yeah, and Musk botted the whole thing at the end. We do have to address the issue of political influence by bot. And Musk has threatened to get involved in our politics, you know. Should be quite the reciprocal deal, don't you think? You don't get involved in our politics, we don't get involved in yours. Ellen and Albanese, I don't think they would they? Please tell me they wouldn't. I like Albo. Here's the deal, technically I'm a conservative, right, but I mean, when's the last time I've been able to, in any good conscience, vote for a conservative? It's been quite a while. And I think as I get older, you know, your views change anyway, but that's hardly the point. But despite, you know, my natural leanings, my football team leanings to that kind of politics, I really have liked Albanese. I really have. I thought he was a genuine kind of guy. And the thing about it is that you need to, when you're dealing with politics, you have to ask yourself the question, when an emergency happens, if an emergency happens, do I trust this guy? It's not what tax cut you get just before the election. It's if the shit hits the fan, is it going to be okay? I have no words to say about the Ellen and Elbow. It would literally be called Elbow, wouldn't it? Yeah. But despite my leanings, I think it's going to be quite some time before I'm going to be able to vote Conservative again. Certainly can't do it today. No, I think you're wrong there, Opal guy, about the congressman. I think it's just that you've been tallying up their age and you thought there was more than there should be. Surely there can't be 6 million years of experience in this Congress. My take on what happened, like, to get Trump, you had politicians treating the electorate very, very cynically the first time. But here's the deal, I can remember all of the stuff that Trump was doing. He really tore up the carpet a lot. He was causing all sorts of havoc. But you see, the first Trump term was the time when the Democrats should have said, this is serious, democracy is at stake, let's sew this game up, let's take a few risks to sew the game up. So what did they do? They put a corpse in. And so all of the swinging voters in America, and by swinging voters, they're the people who just decide to go home instead of vote, they just looked at the corpse and go, meh. And too late, the Democrats realised that they made a bit of a whoopsie with the whole corpse thing, and so they tried to get Kamala Harris in. And that is what I call the glass cliff, or it's actually a phrase, where you cynically stick a woman in when you realise that it's too bad. Throw the hospital pass to Kamala Harris. She would have been a good president, I think. But it was too late by then. Well, you of all people, mate, you're suffering an awful lot because people you trusted treated the public like mugs. That's basically what happened. I'm not saying that Trump's any better. He's way worse. Don't get me wrong. But I think that like your unthinking public saw the way they were being treated and just said, right, let's put this idiot back in. Now let me reiterate something, mate. The amount of shock that I felt when I saw that Trump made it over the line. I was thinking, surely, despite everything that's going on, surely they realise what this is going to mean. And I think that the outrage of the MAGA group was just so palpable that they were willing to bring him back. it's annoying because I think the karma really could have made a difference. I think that she had the chops to run. I think she had the chops to, even in a political system that was pretty biased against women, to be frank. To be frank, exactly, not Francine. And like, Australia's no better, don't get me wrong. But oh yeah. Oh, I agree. Listen, we were talking about Pauline Hanson before. One of the interesting things about Pauline Hanson was the fact that, how do I put this politely? She was an idiot. But she was quite the naive idiot. And I don't think she was genuinely corrupt. She was very, very racist. But she wasn't genuinely corrupt. She didn't have the intelligence to be corrupt. She just made her little One Nation party and she ran with it. And Abbott and Costello were the architects of her imprisonment. And that's one place where I think a politician should never be. Doesn't matter how crazy they are. If you want to see an example of that kind of clemency, have a look at what they did with Trump. They could very well have thrown him in prison. As a matter of fact, there are certain penalties for insurrections that they could have invoked and did not. Sadly, the Democrats in that situation were playing the good guys. I don't think that, for example, Biden's son will be treated with the same level of clemency, to be honest. I initially was outraged, but then when I heard the full story, I thought, you know, I don't blame Biden for pardoning his son. If I had the option, I too would say, nope, I'm not throwing them to the wolves. Absolutely. Listen, the amount of clemency shown to Trump is amazing. He kept your state secrets on a stage in an upstairs casino room. I'm just imagining strippers dancing on poles right next to the secret documents on a seedy Friday night. You know, it's that kind of thing. Sorry, I just read Adele's statement. It's true. It's so true. I said that, didn't I? One time. Like in America, if a black man commits a crime, they throw him in prison and they chuck away the key. If a white man commits a crime in America, they kind of turn away and pretend it didn't happen. If an orange man commits a crime in America, they make him president. Yeah, you're right. You're right, mate. Because it's so late at night. My filter's way off. Not a good time to like have Americans awake. But you've heard what I've been saying. You've heard what I've been saying. I've been harsh where I consider harshness to be necessary. I'm not partisan in my harshness. I think that the Democrats made a mistake in what they did with Biden. I think the Democrats made a mistake in treating the American people like mugs. That's on the record. I'm trying to be as honest as possible about the politics. And it's not my fault that Trump's an idiot. Remember, he did just tariff the crap out of us. But we've got no reason to be loyal to him. What is it the Canadians do? Do the national anthem and they say, elbows up, eh? Something like that. They always say truth is stranger than fiction. But the other thing is, like, our friend the Opal guy, he can be forgiven for having a bit of a partisan view in this because he's neck deep in it. He's seeing the damage firsthand. So it's very hard to be nice and neutral when that's going on. If you were truly neutral about it, you'd understand that, like, I'm passionate about Ukraine. I don't often say about that sort of thing, but like I am. And I have seen some awful, awful lies told about Ukraine by a person abusing his power. And that, to me, that's unforgivable. And a few dislikes for that, so be it. I'm not trying to make a political point here. I'm not trying to get involved in American politics. I think that the Australian thing, the patriotic Australian thing to do is stay the hell out of it. But you see, you haven't been afforded that luxury by other countries, have you? We know full well that there has been a concerted effort, not just in America, but all other countries in Europe, to get those votes rigged. We know that. I'm just going to... This is a picture stone. It's not... it's got a bit of colour in it, but it's mostly picture. I quite like it, to be honest. We'll see if there's any colour when the sun comes out. I hope there is, because I reckon if it does have a bit of fire, it'll be nice. This live stream has been going for 2.5 hours. My daughter just messaged and said, "It's 4 a.m., Dad." I think that is a hint. Oh dear. Ugh. Let's go see what the birds have to say. Wakey, wakey, birdies. Ugh. I'm just going to read through all of these. Definitely not partisan political statements. Yeah, it's all right. Who will you vote for? No, it's all right. You're right. You're right. It's okay. This stream has been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but I know you wanted to stream and you haven't been able to as much as you wanted.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't break that.
Notice how I didn't step anywhere near it.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Hi, Loki.
upside down, Loki. Upside down, Miss Jane. You don't know that one.
Mr.
Half the audience here is American. They don't know that one.
Oh, is Mr. Squiggle not?
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay. Where's that thing I felt?
Yeah, hang on a second. They've been saying all sorts of cool stuff and I haven't been able to read it. So here we go. Eggs. There's a comment to eggs. Look, I found that Pony's been doing her bit. Look at this. That's like $1 million right there. Okay. Yeah, I know. There you go.
I'm gonna go buy it tomorrow for myself.
Okay, let me see.
While
Okay,
you do
yeah.
that, I'll scratch Loki. Hi, baby. Oh, you're
I'm just reading all of this.
Yeah.
Actually, Jay Virginia has mentioned something important that technically the American system is better than the Australian system because you have to make deals to get things over the line. If an Australian crosses the floor from their party, they're toast. But not what?
I'm gonna say that I don't think that makes up for them not having preferential voting.
No, it doesn't. But you've got to give them something, haven't you?
Okay.
So.
It's 4 a.m. I'm not at my best.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but like technically,
Sorry, Loki.
technically, the voting system is actually quite good. In the Senate, you've got to get the votes however you get them.
Okay, yeah, but it's not democracy of the people. It's democracy of the House.
It's democracy of the elites. Yes, I get that.
Which I think, considering that the elites are in America, is still not functional.
Yeah. Well, if
Not
you
the
if you were going
average
to
civilian.
if you were going to be tried, you're tried in front of a jury of your peers. Do they do the same with politics? No, they don't. So yeah, I get it. Pardon me.
Are you alright? You did? Were you walking with anything caustic?
No.
Hi, Loki. We should probably let him sleep and turn the light
Yeah.
off for him.
Yeah.
Dude, insomnia is kicking my butt right now.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to bed.
I know.
And I'm able to sleep fully.
All right. I'm just trying to read these and comment on
Yeah,
the live stream. It's
sorry.
difficult. What I'm trying to do is just say, yep, you're right about the Gillard thing. Look, I can remember because back in 07, that was the first time I ever voted Labor. Sorry, did you know that? And it was because Kevin Rudd. I was sick of the lies. I didn't believe Howard when he said that that whole Iraqi war was necessary. It wasn't. I would have preferred it if he said the Americans are going in, we're going in with them. That's more honest than we found some WMDs somewhere in orbit. So at any rate, that was the first time I ever changed my vote. And so, and the vote was, even though this was not my deciding factor, they did say that, you know, if you vote for Howard, you're going to get Abbott halfway through. And imagine my shock and horror when they roll Rudd and put Gillard in. Now, listen, they needed to talk to their electorate about this. There were good reasons why they did that. But they didn't explain it. They just rolled. Look, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading through the past things. Opal guy, listen, Australia is not powerful enough to send the world into global recession. So that was never on the cards. So we can sit there with our politicians and we can muck around all we like. Let me see. Yep, the pesky eggs. Trump told a pack of lies, that's true. He didn't mean it. Well, I think he did. He just had no means to follow through. It doesn't matter if any of this... Yeah. I think I mentioned that before. Yep. Opal guy, you were quite correct. If you did any insurrection kind of bullshit, you would be in prison before they could say guilty. So, yep, you're right. And that reminded Adele that it's a convicted felon. They actually voted in a convicted felon. And you said the thing about it was that they were going fake news over the conviction. No. The CIA tried really hard to make it not end up as a convictable thing, that whole documents thing. But he just stubbornly held on to the things and told lies about it. So no. Tried to build a casino, making sure they're not corruptible. Yeah, that was happened a while ago, Adele, and maybe the conversation moved on and I contradicted myself. That's quite possible. You can't make it up yet. We've got up to that. Casino, yeah, absolutely. I remember that. The person serving, the person serving a foreign adversary. Like, if you can't think, if you see someone who puts tariffs on the entire world and then doesn't put it on Russia, literally the enemy of the United States ever since Adam was a boy. That's astonishing. Yes, you're right. But yeah, you're right about that, Adele. Trump is loyal to himself, no one else. You're quite correct. I don't know what you're talking about with that 30s guy, so I'm going to ignore it. No, I'm not deleting the stream. Look, sometimes, in Australia, we generally hold an election like this. They go, who are you voting for? We go, who are you voting for? Yeah, that's right. And they go, oh, we're voting for that guy. And we go, oh, you poor bastard. Who are you voting for? The other guy. Oh, you poor bastard. That's how we view it. And if you're not mature enough to handle that, well, whatever. And then my daughter walked in. So I'm just recapping the conversation. I'll just have to watch it later, I think, because I'm busy trying to hold it all together. All right. So I've read the entire conversation and, like, quite frankly, Opal Guy, I don't think it's a deletable conversation because it was like what I read in the comment section was quite logical. So, yeah, I'm going to go to bed now. But yeah, it was a logical conversation. You can't fault what was actually said. It was a bit raw, maybe a little bit punchy, but at the same time, we're not here trying to pick on anybody. We're trying to make sense of a world that's literally gone mad. So, and that's what happens at 4 a.m. in Australia. So thanks, guys, for sticking with me through this very interesting live stream. Come here, Pony. We've just got to do one more thing because it's tradition. Careful, 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 careful. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's all right. It's all right. I got you. Splat. She's up and running. All right. So, guys, regardless of where you are on the political fence, I don't hate you. It's never been my intention to hate anyone. And if you vote for the other guy, well, that's your decision. Seriously. You have your reasons, and as long as you respect my reasons and I respect yours, we're going to get on just fine. That's just the way life is. Yes, it is, Pony. Like and subscribe on your way out if you feel so inclined, or if you don't have blue smoke running out your ears from whatever political views have been expressed tonight. But it's okay. Like, ultimately, whether you're right, whether you're wrong, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, the sun will rise tomorrow. The sun will set, and everything will still happen. There is nothing that can be broken so badly that it can't be fixed in a week's time. Have a good night, everybody. And try not to stress about the world. The world will look after itself. See you guys around. Dr. Phil out.